Kwa majina naitwa Steven Muli, ambao mwenyekiti wa Matatu Central Lift Matatu Owners Association Nakuru. Na sisi kama washikadau wa matatu hapa Central Lift Nakuru, tumeona hii vile waziri Murkomen alisema jana jioni, na tukaona hiyo ni njia moja ya kutufinyilia kama watu wa matatu. Na kama ni mambo ya accidents zinafanyika kila mahali, na ukiangalia zinakuwa caused by lorries. Na kwa mfano hii accident ilifanyika tu hapa Gata Nakuru. Hiyo lori ilikuwa imesimama hapo for 3 days na haikuondolewa. And again, hata ile gari ambayo ilikongwa, hiyo sio gari ya matatu, because ina lepo ya matatu, it does not belong to any sacco. Na hiyo gari imekuwa ikifanya hivyo kila siku. Polisi wanajua, NTSA wanajua, na hakuna mtu amewahi chukua hatua. So accident nyingi, angalia ile ilifanyika Kericho, hiyo sio matatu, ni floor box, na inabeba watu 8. Na tumekuwa tukisema wale zile gari ambazo sio sasako siondokee kasi ya matatu. Ile ilifanyika Mombasa ilikuwa cost na lorry. So ukiangalia all the accident nyingi ambao zimefanyika, hata hizi zinafanyika na school buses, au sio watu wa matatu. Na hii mambo ya kusema retesting of matatu drivers, sisi kama miungano ya matatu tunapinga. Na kama lazima ifanyike kwa all drivers, because drivers does not belong to matatu drivers alone. Hii watu wa maroli wana cause this accident. Kwa nini Murkomen asemi maroli pia irudi samani, ianze kuenda mchana, iache kuenda usiku? Na mambo ya kusema hata mambo ya cameras itazuiaje mambo ya accident? Hizi accident zote zimefanyika, na hizi gari zote ziko na speed governors. Bona wakati accidents zinafanyika zinakuwa blames to matatu drivers ama matatu. Sisi kama viongozi wa matatu tunasema iache kuwa selective law kwa watu wa matatu. Kama ni mambo ya barabara, wache involve all drivers. Iwe ni driver wa lori, iwe ni driver wa basi, iwe ni driver wa trailer, iwe ni driver wa personal vehicles, all those are drivers. But isiwe tu in one way to matatu drivers. Hiyo ni kuonea matatu. Na matatu contributes a lot as far as economy of this country is concerned. Kwa hivyo tunataka kuambia waziri ya kwamba aache kusema ya kwamba ni matatu tu zina cause accident. Ukiangalia statistics za matatu, hata matatu ndio wana cause zile accident kidogo. So sisi hatuungi mkono mambo ya kusema retesting of drivers. Hiyo haitasuilia accident hata kidogo. Na kama lazima ifanyike, basi ikuwe retesting na isilipishwe kwa watu wa matatu, isilipishwe hata kwa personal drivers. Waje involve all the drivers, sisi wote twende retesting. Sasa hiyo itakuwa fair kwa kila mtu, because sio matatu peke yake iko kwa barabara. Kwa hivyo sisi kama viongozi tunapinga hiyo kabisa. Mambo ya cameras pia tunaipinga, because cameras haitazuia accident. Na ukiangalia wakati kama huu accidents zimeongezeka, angalia ni zile barabara tu zile tumetumia over 20 years. Hizo barabara asiyawahi panuliwa. And again unaangalia kwamba population imeongezeka, magari imeongezeka, na barabara ni zile. Barabara zingine haziyakuwa marked. Na waziri Murkomen hiyo atilii maanane, because unaangalia sasa kama ni Mombasa Road inafaa kuwa do carriage, na for long hii haijawahi fanyika. Na matatu personal vehicles imeongezeka, lorries imeongezeka, matatu imeongezeka, trailers imeongezeka, the same kwa ile tu barabara ile ya zamani. Pita hii maneno tuna kama ameshinda ndio tuko na Evans. Sasa Evans atakutumia sasa, wewe vile vile utaisambaza basi. Na Murkomen.
Oh yeah, retesting.
offense utawekea Mwangi.
Hata wajamaa kuona
kwa pesa yenyewe bado haiko tax. Ndio sasa wanalipa hiyo, najua kule bado hawana.
And all we are saying, it does not even have to be about bureaucracy, because we've even given in writing and said if in 72 hours we don't give you a comments, it means it is as good as already passed. It does not even have to be about money, because if it is something that is funded by donor agencies, all you have to do is say that this is something funded by donor agencies, we internally process it and say that we're not even charging you for this. But I'm repeating again, the importance of regulating by county governments. We are hoping that we will be able to work with the regulatory agencies in these matters, from EPRA to Kenya Roads, but to anyone else that is involved in these matters, so that we can be able to have a situation where we're not necessarily just allowing things to be able to be put up that are going to be a danger now, but also things not to be a danger tomorrow as well. And I want it to be on record as a county government, and I probably speak, I believe I speak on behalf of all the other governors as well who took a similar stance. IBEC as well took a similar stance, Your Excellency, that we need to have some form of regulations when it comes to be able to do all these things.
It turns out that the biggest public debt or pending bills, the largest constituency, is the parastatals constituency, which holds about 83% of the pending bills in the economy. So we all know. And he was very harsh. So let us not let him down. Let us not let the people of Kenya down. Let us pull together. Our policies must be dynamic, responsive to the needs of our society, and aligned with international best practices. Similarly, our legal framework should provide clarity, consistency, and enforceability to enable these entities to fulfill their respective mandates effectively. Our regulatory authorities and agencies are confronted with several challenges that impede the execution of their mandates. These range from bureaucratic inefficiencies to resource constraints, from regulatory capture to technological disruptions. The hurdles are enormous. The rapid pace of change in technology, finance, and healthcare sectors poses unique regulatory dilemmas that demand innovative solutions. Moreover, lack of coordination and coherence among regulatory bodies sometimes leads to duplicity of efforts and wastage of resources. This is a state of affairs that cannot be allowed to continue. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to propose some recommendations to address the issues at hand during our deliberations. 1, enhanced coordination. We must foster greater collaboration and coordination among regulatory authorities to ensure coherence, reduction of redundancies, and facilitation of information sharing. Secondly, capacity building. Investing in the capacity building of the regulatory personnel is paramount. Continuous training programs, knowledge sharing initiatives, and exposure to best practices from around the globe to empower our regulatory workforce to navigate complex regulatory landscapes with confidence and competence. Third, regulatory reform. Agencies ought to embrace regulatory reform initiatives to streamline processes, reduce regulatory burdens, and promote regulatory efficiency. Fourth, embracing technology. Leveraging technological advancements such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and big data analytics to enhance regulatory oversight, enforcement, and compliance monitoring. Fifth, stakeholder engagement. Fostering meaningful engagement with industry stakeholders, civil society organizations, academia, and the public at large, soliciting feedback, addressing concerns, and fostering a culture of transparency and accountability to enhance regulatory legitimacy and public trust. In my role as Prime Cabinet Secretary, collaborating with the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, I undertake to highlight and give prominence to this very noble campaign of revitalization and re-energization of our regulatory authorities. In my extended mandate as the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, I undertake to designate an officer to work with the regulatory authorities on best global practices that will enhance visibility and ensure optimal performance, leading to stellar service delivery to the people of Kenya. We must also look at ourselves. There are other uncompetitive trade practices, transfer pricing. We have a situation where within the financial services, there are some people who may look aside when people deny Kenyan investors an opportunity and they get into a transfer pricing mechanism with a foreign investor. Rather than investing that money here, they want to take it away through unfair trade practices. The regulators must step forward and deal with this. We have a situation where we here maybe have been complicit in creating monopolies. Monopolies are not good for an economy. Monopolies are not good for pricing. Monopolies make life expensive for the ordinary citizen. Some of us here have been delaying competition. You have made it extremely difficult for competition to move forward in this country because you are protecting a particular player. So you are giving him an advantage of becoming a monopoly, and you have the chance of inviting competition. Competition is what will bring prices down. So as regulators, are we complicit in giving an undue hand advantage to one or two players and denying proper competition in our economy? And if we deny competition, investors run away. We don't create the jobs that we should be creating. So, can we also have an opportunity to inwardly look at ourselves in those matters? Am I sitting on a mining license for too long? And in the process, you're not allowing competition in the mining sector. Am I sitting on facilitating people in a blue economy and therefore making it difficult for others to come and process and invest in the blue economy to provide competition and jobs, because I'm hoping to give an advantage to somebody? These are the fundamental questions that we ought to ask ourselves as regulators. And I'm sure if we answer ourselves honestly, we shall be able to transform this country in the direction that the President wants.